G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. We're back with some more Road to Red Bull Wallalol Legacy. This is game number 2 in this series. Let's introduce our players. Spawning in on the south of the map, representing Team GP in the color red, playing the Abbasid Dynasty, it's Leenock. And in the north of the map, playing as the Mongols in the color blue, it's Vortex. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 in this series. The first game won by Leenock. He's looking to try and clinch the series here in this game, playing with what some consider to be the best civilization at the moment, the Abbasid Dynasty. This civilization is particularly strong at the moment just simply because it doesn't have too many bad matchups. In fact, I would argue no bad matchups. Of course, it's got matchups that aren't favorable, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad matchup. If you were to look at, say, as an example, the Chinese, you could say, well, their matchup into the HRE is pretty bad. If you look at the HRE, you could say, well, their matchup into the Mongols is pretty bad. But the Abbasid Dynasty, well, you'd be struggling to find a matchup that they weren't somewhat decent in. So, nonetheless, we'll take a look and see how Leenock opens. He started off with a mill. He's gone with the house and then the mining camp and, of course, the House of Wisdom. So this is basically what you would call like a bare bones age up. It's something that you used to see back in the day all the time. And that was essentially no lumber camp, no wood chopping, no nothing. Just a very quick age up. I'm curious what direction he goes with this. Does he look to go for a super quick wheelbarrow as well in the transition period and then look to get fresh foodstuffs? I suspect that he will. This matchup against the Mongols is quite difficult. So we can already see the barracks is coming down. And an early aggression will be the name of the game here. So Vortex has opened with a second scout. Compare that to Leenock. He's going to be running the same thing. So he's got both players with double scouts here, which means that there's plenty of early scouting that is going to be happening here. There's not going to be any neglected parts of the map. Vortex now, double spearman in the queue. We'll see exactly how Leenock goes as he begins to look towards the enemy base and understand a little bit about the strategy that might be going on. You never know with the Mongols. Is it going to be a pasture? Is it going to be feudal all-in? Is it going to be early age 1 aggression into that classic age 3 that we typically see? And he spots out the spearman straight away. He says, okay, we know what it is. It's the spearman rush. And there's the barracks. He'll know the villager's already on the way. And now looking to gather up gold, at least enough gold that he can age up. And that might be part of the reasoning here. You know, we talked a little bit about earlier, you know, not gathering any wood or anything like that. Well, perhaps this is why. If he gathers up wood, he might not have time to age up. But he does now have the resources to age up, or at least, there we go. Now he's got the ages to, or the resources to age up. And he deletes the lumber camp. Very, very cute. Coming out from Leenock. Not going to be able to give any bounty over towards that Khan, over towards the Mongol player. Very, very cute, Leenock. I did like that a lot. Now, my one concern is that this house might actually still be under a little bit of threat. And have a look at this unfortunate spawn for Leenock. Oh my lord, talk about unfortunate. Gold, stone, and a single outpost. I feel like we're watching something X-rated right now, like 3 resources, 1 outpost. Like, this is just... It's not pretty. It's not pretty. And Leenock, unfortunately, Vortex will be able to get this up. So Leenock not looking the hottest, not looking the prettiest right now. And the question is, where does he go from here? What does he look to do? Because establishing a second town center as the Abbasid Dynasty is really important. You want to try and do it as soon as you possibly can without dying. And the problem is, if you can't access either of your stone deposits, where do you go from here? The other alternative is a stone out towards the west side, but already we see Vortex moving out here with the Khan, just looking to scout it out and make sure, hold on a minute, yep, okay, good, make sure that bad boy doesn't have anything taken off it just yet. And now back towards base. Vortex, I mean, this is just impressive, right? Like, he's able to establish dominance out here with just 4 spearmen. Typically, you'd see Mongol players go for like 6 spearmen, 8 spearmen, 7 spearmen, you know, whatever floats your boat. Not going to be the case here. Outpost does get up, villager going to be returning back to base. So what, I mean, if you're looking at this game as an aspiring Mongol main, and you're thinking, okay, but what does he establish here? He delays his enemy. Delays the wheelbarrow, delays the fresh food stuff, delays, you know, hardened spearmen, delays second town center. That's it. That's all he does. So now what's the response from Leenock? I would suspect it's going to be archery range into a fast battering ram. We've seen this before from Abbasid players, but the problem is by doing this, you're putting yourself so far behind. Now, Khan going to come through. It's going to spot the gold on the back here. And the Khan's going to be fine with that. He's going to say, you know what? You get your fresh foodstuffs, mate. That's fine. You get your wheelbarrow. I don't care. You know why? Because your second TC, it's so damn late. I mean, we've seen 5-minute 20. Is it 5-minute 20? No, 6-minute 20 TCs being dropped with wheelbarrow and fresh foodstuffs. Not going to be the case today, mate. You'd be lucky to get a town center before 8 minutes 20. And behind that, Vortix, well, he's just doing magic back here, isn't he? He's got 5 villagers on the Deerstones landmark, gathering a little bit of wood, so maybe thinking about dropping down a pasture or two. There's the pasture coming out right now. And for the most part, he just chills out. He's like John Cena in the house. He is just being chilling, and everything is good for him. So, I mean, let's just fast forward this game. I mean, let's just go through to the castle age, because we're going to get to 9 minutes in this game. Vortix is going to be castle age. Leenock will have just dropped down his town center, and Vortix is going to be well and truly ahead at that point. And it's going to be so hard for Leenock to catch up, but we'll wait and see exactly how he plays it, as the wheelbarrow is indeed coming in now, and the villagers do move out towards that third stone camp. Third stone outcropping. Let's go with that one, because obviously we know about what happened in the middle. Now, we can see that 2 spears have managed to make it into this outpost. 4 spears coming out on the map. Archers are now out as well, and Vortix, he doesn't want to lose his units, so he knows that if he moves up towards that position, there's no way that holds. So plenty of villagers coming out now for Leenock. He's got 10 villagers out on stone here. It's a huge amount of villagers. Archers just looking to try and rotate through for the moment. Age up does come through. Vortix now going to be going into a stable. Very smart moves. Arrow slits also coming down for him on this front position. I'm loving this opening from Vortix. Just got a very fortunate spawn. 1 outpost just does so much work for him over here. But now we're going to see that second town center. At least we're going to see resources for that second town center coming through shortly. Scout might be going down. Scout might be going down. This is not good. Leenock not paying attention. Leenock not paying attention. Wake up, Leenock. Oh, this is terrible. He's actually going to lose the scout. So this might not seem like a big deal. It is. It's a massive deal, because now all of a sudden your scouting information is going to be significantly lower. Early horseman moving out towards this position. And we do see town center comes down at 7 minutes. So not terribly late. Maybe delayed by a minute at most. Maybe like 55 seconds. So good recovery from Leenock. He'll be happy with this. Obviously, it's not perfect. You know, if you're playing in the matchup against China, against the Holy Roman Empire, this town center comes up 55 seconds earlier. But that is the consequence of playing against the Mongols. You know, they look to, you know, they do a little bit of damage to themselves, but then they also do a lot of damage to you. So, I mean, it's something important to consider. But now that outpost just going to continue being annoying, slowly but steadily, dealing damage to that House of Wisdom. It will get whittled down over time. Early horsemen continue moving out. More of them coming out. We'll take a look and see whether he's got the upgrade for them just yet. Indeed, he has got the upgrade for them. So these guys are fully fledged, at least in the feudal age, for the moment. More units moving out. And now the question is, where does Leenock go from here? Now, there's 2 ways that he can play it. Number 1 is he goes straight to castle. Number 2 is he stays in the feudal age and looks to start building up a bit of a mass. You know, camels, horsemen, the whole shebang. That's typically the way that you'd see people play it. But it looks like Leenock might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's tried to wall up, and now his enemy's gotten behind his walls. Up towards the north, he also looks to wall. Take a look and see how he plays it, though. Villager going to be going down. We see a barracks coming out for him. So going to be going for a more infantry-based composition here. An interesting decision in that. Villagers, he's quite literally sacrificing villagers just to secure the wall on the edge here. You can see he only tapped away at it for about a second and a half before it did go down. Now more woodline villagers going to be going down. Vortix picking up just some free kills here. Very unfortunate for Leenock, just mistiming that wall by probably about 5 or 10 seconds. 5 or 10 seconds more, and he would have been able to get it up. But now, unfortunately, things not looking good. He does at least have the second TC up. Villager count for him at the moment, 30, compared to 31 for Vortix. So Vortix ahead on the villager count, and now that age up going to be coming through. Like we mentioned, 9 minutes. Going to be the benchmark here. Still continuing to raid. Obviously spent quite a bit of resources on those horsemen. Spending 100 food on each one. He's now opened up that little hole in the south. Spearmen are out though. They're going to be able to contest this position. We see Vortix looking to come through onto the gold mine, force his enemy off. He's going to be able to take the closer gold vein as well. But now that age up going to be coming through. No surprises. It will be the step redoubt coming down on that gold mine. Any second. There it is. Step redoubt coming down straight away. Plenty of villagers moving over. Gur moves away. As you should do. You don't want to be dropping off gold to that Gur. It's going to be a huge reduction in the amount of effective gold you're receiving. The Gur will only receive 100% of your gold, whereas the step redoubt it'll receive 150% because it's a perfectly balanced landmark. You know, I often talk about landmarks like, or the Mongols as like a perfectly balanced civilization. They're actually a pretty well balanced civilization. The balance at the moment for Age of Empires 4 is very, very good. And anybody who would criticize it, I mean, I would just point them towards the win rates of civilizations. Like if you were to look at Diamond Plus, every single civ has a win rate between 52 and 48%. That's insane. That is crazy when you think about it. Like you can't. That is just ridiculous. You can't fathom how hard that must have been to have gotten there, but they did it. You know, so props to the devs. Little charge coming out. Villagers looking to repair, or rather build that wall. Trying their best to pick off a couple of the horsemen. Not going to have any luck. A villager does go down. Looking to try and pick up the second one. Spearman moving out towards this position as well. We'll be able to get it. He does heal up the hole in the wall or repair the hole in the wall. And Vortex now looking to mass produce Lancers. Monasterial Prayer Tent going to be coming down here as well. So double production on that stable. We'll tune in with Leenock and see how he's doing as he looks to try and get towards that castle age. Slowly getting there, adding more infrastructure as he goes. It's going to be a crossbow and spearman composition like we've been seeing. And this composition is really starting to trend up. You see it in almost every single game. If it's not trash, you know, if it's not archers and spearmen, it's crossbows and spearmen. And typically it's going to be against civilizations that have got heavier or a much greater chance of going for that sort of lancer opening. That's exactly what we see. But now it's going to be camels coming out. Leenock about to click that age up button. Still got plenty of health left on that House of Wisdom, so sure he's not too fussed. But the Lancers are moving across the map. The first set. Wheelbarrow also going to be coming through. Take a look and see how long it's got. Not too long. Not too long at all. Another 58 seconds. Vortex failing to emulate his brother Lucifron and going for a pretty early wheelbarrow here by their standards. 12 minutes compared to Leenock, who probably researched his about 5 minutes in. Plenty of villagers on that mining camp though. Age up now coming through. Vortex will be able to see it and go, okay, I know what my enemy's up to. He's got line of sight on these villagers. We'll get the charge off. First one does go down. Second one going to go down. Leenock, unfortunately, asleep at the keyboard. 3 villagers go down. 4 villagers getting just bonked on the head. Look at them, unfortunately, losing their life. Leenock nowhere to be seen. A little bit of a counterattack up towards the north. It's with a scout. Typically not what is known for their counterattack ability. More villagers just going down. Vortex at the moment, 41 villagers compared to Leenock on 42. You hate to see a man who goes 2 town centers have so few villagers. You really do. But unfortunately for him, he's going to get repelled away, pushed away. That age up coming through is indeed the Culture Wing. No surprises on that one either. 3rd town center now for Leenock. This man wants to put the foot down. He wants to put the pedal to the metal. The one issue he's going to have is just lack of food. You know, one of the big factors here is this outpost that really gives a lot of control to the Mongol player. He's got complete control over the front of the base, even though we see that Uwu is depleted. It's going to have to move house just very, very briefly. Those Lancers continue looking and posturing for more and more. The Khan, once again, coming out. Still hovering with 139 health. Not doing a bad job. And we see another upgrade coming through for Vortex. This, to me, indicates it might be very heavy on the archers. He might just go, oh my lord, a second TC for himself. And indeed, archers are going to be the name of the game here. We see the archery rangers coming down. So the reason why it's archers is because typically you would not see a Mongol player going for a double broadaxe this early in the game. But when you are going archers, and that's exactly what he's doing here, 1, 2, 3 archery rangers, he's going to need a lot of wood for the archers. 4 archery rangers. So he's quite literally going full archers here. So it's to me, it's very interesting that I can call something just from seeing the single upgrade. I'm like, double broadaxe. Oh, that means he's going in like all in archers. And that's exactly what he does. We see 4 archery rangers coming down immediately after this. Keep in mind, no pre-watching. So I don't know, you know, the result of the games. I don't know what the strategies are that are used. This is just classic Drongo game knowledge right there, coming out strong. Leenock now on the defense though. Still holding on for dear life. He's looking to get his own upgrades through. This is very typical for Leenock. We know from his playstyle he loves to go for his economic upgrades, tries to get them as early as possible. If anything, with the Abbasid dynasty, these are a little bit delayed from what they normally would be. He's got a nice little wall up towards this north spot. The last thing he is really starting to think about now is food. Now, he's got a nice little pocket of food down here to the south, which is being controlled by his enemy. So if he wants to push out here, number one, he's going to need a force. But the other alternative is farms, and that is something you would want to avoid. Plenty of production now coming out. Looks like it's going to be that composition we were talking about, you know, crossbow together with spears, which obviously both of these units do get countered by the archers, but it's going to be crossbows, at least for the moment, for Vortix coming out. Just going to be starting us off with some crossbows by the look of it. He might move into archers, who knows, might move into archers, still more crossbows moving out. A barracks going to be dropping down, and barracks going to be dropping down, double barracks coming out. So who knows, maybe it's not archers, maybe it's just a man who likes double broadaxe upgrades. And more outposts now coming down, and I can already see the beginnings of the end of this game. This outpost here serves as the trench. And behind this, we see improved siege engineering already coming through. I was expecting that it would only start being researched now. But with this, the first trebuchet comes down. And with the first trebuchet means that you now have to address this. And it becomes harder and harder to address this because the outposts are coming up with the sprinkled emplacements. And we do see a battering ram going to be coming out for Leenock. Very quickly will it get cleaned up. Vortix looking to do a little bit of a run by. He tries once again to poke in. Spots the units and says, you know what, it's probably too much for me to deal with. I'm not going to bother for the moment. Second outpost almost up. Enough units here to hold for the moment. Mangonel going to be the name of the game. He'll use that to defend against the ranged units that are coming out for his opponent. And now Leenock moving forward with the battering ram. Unfortunately, oh, it could have been terrible. It could have been terrible. Seconds before disaster right there. Fortunately, the spears got back in time. Now we see that sprinkled emplacement coming through. More units coming across the map. You can see it on the mini-map. Looking to try and engage. Crossbows able to pick off that first of the Camel Archers. Mangonel shot lands. That's pretty decent. He hit a lot of units right there. I'm thinking probably about 9 units got hit with that. Battering ram does go down, which means that the agency that Leenock had is now out the window. He's going to need at least a second battering ram or a siege workshop for a trebuchet, and that is indeed the right choice. Ideally, you'd love to have 2 trebuchets just so you can one-shot these outposts without risk of them being repaired back up. Third outpost about to come through. Sprinkled emplacement is in. And now we've got a problem for Leenock. House of Wisdom is under threat as the first trebuchet is coming out. The infantry mass is looking very, very good for Vortix here. Still actually just spamming out crossbows. So he did go into that double broadaxe and didn't make a single archer. So all of a sudden, I've just been flipped on my head. You know, oh, it's double broadaxe. He's going archer all in. Yep, there's the archery rangers as we suspected. And then he's just making crossbows. It's like, oh, well, that's awkward, isn't it, Drongo? You dickhead. But Leenock, for the moment, stays alive. But you guys both, you guys know that this is just a time. It's only a matter of time. He's on 84 vils at the moment, 48 military pop. Springald's coming out for him. We'll check in over on the other side. 66 vils for Vortix. He's picking up the relics, though. When it comes to the relics, in fact, I cannot see any relics out on this map. I think every single relic's been picked up. And I suspect it might be by Vortix who's picked them up. Let's have a look and see what we've got back here. 1 relic in this, 3 relics in that, and fourth relic was on the way back. Lance is looking, trying to posture towards a position down towards this south side. The wall has come up successfully. Scout still sits back here for the moment. Leenock unaware. Sacred Site captured. Where was that? There it is. So there's the 5th one. Shaman does go down, drops the relic. It's all right. It's close enough for now. Double trebuchets. He realizes, hey, we should probably move these back a little bit. Maybe get them a bit safer. More outposts coming down. Vortix looking good. This Mongol push that we do tend to see is just looking really, really strong. Plenty of units down here on the south side. Leenock gonna have to address this issue. It looks like that shot may have gone wide from the counterweight trebuchet. It looks like it landed just outside. Technically in the box, but it looked like it landed outside. Let's see on the second shot. Is he going to be successful? It's a miss again. It goes wide. The referee's called it wide once again. That's a foul ball. And now all of a sudden, the push comes out. Springald's looking decent. Does he hit it? He hits it. That's a 3 points from downtown. Give him 3. And now LeBron moves up. Looking to take the shot. I love this, man. I could watch this counterweight trebuchet sinking shots all day. He hits it. It's on target. Fortunately, it doesn't look like he got fouled on that one. A little bit of a counterattack came through. I say a counterattack. It was Warwick. And there's that 5th relic. All 5 relics now secured for Vortix. 5 relics, 76 villagers. Compared to 0 relics, 95 villagers. I know what I'd prefer. It is definitely the 75 villagers with the relics. Looking to try and take out this outpost. He's done a decent job of clearing this position. We don't see a second treb. He's just using the 1 treb. Springald's now Coming out into position. He's going to be so careful here. The way that he postures, you can see him moving around. Hold on a minute. Leenock's army looking pretty fierce. Looking pretty ferocious. He's looking to push down upon this position. First Springled emplacement outpost remains. Just the single one for now. And now the battle looks to begin. Camel Archer gonna get picked off. That's the second one. Third one, we're entering into the cinematic mode as the Springleds move forward and look to try and pick off their counterparts. The first one does go down. Plenty of spearmen out here at the moment, but it seems like it might be all there is. There's just spearmen and crossbows at the same time on the other side. The Springleds continue moving forward. Leenock gonna be losing multiples. 1, 2. Down goes the Trebuchet, and with that, all of the infrastructure will remain holding on for the moment. Mangonel coming out. Looks like the shot gonna be on target. He takes out only one crossbowman by the looks of it. And Leenock, unfortunately, coming up empty-handed there, getting completely rinsed by those Springleds. Very impressive stuff. Impressive stuff right there from Vortex. And Leenock definitely on the edge at the moment. Sacred Site's also being taken. 1, 2. Third Sacred Site over towards the west. Yet to be taken a little bit closer to Leenock's base. If it does get taken, will be very easily neutralized. But hey, it's better than nothing. And now that scout is going to get found out and going to get picked off. He says, get out of here. You can see him pop off that Falcon right before he dies, just to get that little bit of information. Not that it's ever going to give him anything like, oh, and now Leenock is putting down a wonder. Oh, I never would have guessed it. No, it's not going to happen. There's not much. I mean, maybe like a stable switch or something, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stables. Maybe you could bait out your enemy by doing that. How would you exploit that? You drop down those stables and then you just mass archers, I guess would be the play. Not really a good bait though. Not really a good bait. Leenock definitely in a bit of trouble though. Town Center down to 3,400 health. House of Wisdom down to 8,100. So it's sitting on about 66% compared to the TC, which is actually losing a lot of health. Oh my lord, that's a lot of trebuchets. That is a killer amount of trebuchets right now. Vortex is looking to take out Leenock. Now we saw in the first game, Leenock victorious with the Mongols. Do we see Vortex once again victorious? But it will be with the Mongols once again victorious, but this time with Vortex as the pilot. Mongols looking very strong. We once again enter into the cinematic mode as the Spearmen together with the men-at-arms push up and Springleds looking to get taken out. Vortex moving forward with those Springleds being so damn strong, making sure that they stay back away from his siege. Town Center going to be going down. That's the first of the landmarks. The second one remains. The Treb's going to be looking to focus that down. Beautiful micro coming out from Vortex, taking out all of the Springleds. At the same time, Springleds for Leenock looking to unfortunately, they've been taken out, but the Springleds for Vortex rather are also in the firing line. Crossbow is looking very strong. The mass doesn't really look to dwindle at this point. We see a Mangonel about to be constructed. It's just chilling out at 99% at the moment. Go on, Mangonel. I believe. I believe, Mangonel. I believe. And now those traps continue firing down on this position. We can see he's pulled a couple of villagers to try and repair this bad boy up. But the Trebs are just focusing down on the main landmark now, the big bad boy, the House of Wisdom. The consequence of putting this in the front of the base is it makes it so much easier for your enemy to actually take it down. And now it starts burning. Oh, Leenock, we might have problems. Oh, Leenock, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, my friend, but your House of Wisdom is on fire. Town Center was being repaired, but he knows it's not enough. He's got enough wood in the bank, at least his opponent does. Yeah, 800 wood in the bank. He needs to pull villagers if he wants to stay alive, but at this point in time, I don't even think it's going to matter. It's going to go down. And with that, good game going to get called. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be tying up the series. Vortex, our victor for this second game. We are going to be heading into a game 3. And the final game will determine who gets to go into the grand final and play against Papi Paw the Formidable. Do not go anywhere. It is coming right up.